Mike Winkeljohn, ladies and gentlemen, is our guest today at InTheCage.pl interview at YouTube. Guys, I need to tell you a couple of words about this man, this fantastic coach that we are going to talk about, but maybe we'll do this later. And first of all, I would like to say hello and thank you for this interview, for having you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Um, Coach, could you please tell me if it's not a problem if we are going to have a couple of questions from our fans? I have some questions from them, and they are really asking about very interesting issues. So
Oh, absolutely, please.
nice. Okay, so I will give you those questions first, and then I will talk about a couple of things that I am also interested in. Um, First of all, do you have any other hobbies than building a success of JacksonWink MMA? Maybe you, I don't know, gaming or do the gaming or maybe I don't know, something else. Not maybe a sport.
You know what? The fighting game, and I'm blessed in that I love what I do. It takes up most of my time if I'm not spending time with my family. So I have three daughters, so I spend time with them doing their activities. I pretty much have given up on doing other activities, and I'm okay with that. I used to do a lot of climbing type activities, mountain climbing type stuff, outdoor activities. But you know what? It's pretty much I get up. If it's not working with my family, it's going to work and making sure living my dream, helping fighters out live their dreams.
hmm How do you manage stress during your fighters do their job in the cage?
Oh, you know what? I think I can release stress in so many ways, but a lot of it has to do with just I'm so physical with the guys. So I'm moving around with the guys constantly. I'm in the cage with them, all day long. So I'm not definitely not coaching from the sidelines. So that helps quite a bit. I think physical activity is the best way to relieve stress.
hmm Jackson Wink fighters work with couple stand-up coaches. What are pros and cons of this solution?
Well, we're quite large, but we have different guys that can specialize in different things. So when a fighter comes to our gym, Greg and I look at the fighter and decide who might be the best fit. Some of our stand-up coaches are small, and so they're not able to work with the bigger guys like Marcin from Poland, etc. So we set them up with the smaller guys, but also some of our stand-up coaches are really good at better at working with people on kicks. Some people, our stand-up coaches are better at working with people in transitioning into their takedowns. So we kind of just try to look at what's best for the fighter.
I understand. Okay, one question for from our fan about the health issues and this issue connected with your eye. How hard is to work as a coach without one eye?
Oh, you know what? I've adapted. It's a new normal for me. I have some problems with depth perception if I'm not in a fighting situation. I think I have mapped it in my brain really well for punching and kick links. Um, it's not so good when people throw things too far away, but I've adapted pretty well. It's I have to turn my head a little bit more, so my blind side people make a joke out of it and always try to punch me on my blind side and attack me on my side. But that's that's the camaraderie we have at the gym is everybody's constantly giving each other a hard time, and they definitely give me a hard time about having one eye.
No, I understand. Well, are there any fighters in MMA who could train with you and maybe achieve more?
Oh, I don't know if I'm that special. I think that the level of MMA has come up so high, and there's so many good coaches out there. I do see people once in a while. I go, wow. There's so many people out there that are brawling. I think there's better approaches. I think there's some fantastic wrestlers that if I had a chance to work with them, I think I can make their striking better. In that they'll continue on forward in their careers at a higher level. Pico just came to us from Bellator. He was one of the best wrestlers in the world. So that's my goal now is to develop that young man, his striking as such, so that it blends into his wrestling. So there's nobody in particular, and I wouldn't want to, do that to any of the other coaches. There's so many great coaches out there, but every once in a while I get lucky.
Mm. I was about to ask about Aaron Pico. Is it true that he just moved to Jackson Wink for all his training camps and more?
Yes, he actually I believe he arrived last night actually, and yeah, so far so good. You never know. Sometimes it's the wrong fit, but he came in and he worked out with us for about a week. He seemed to like what was going on, and he was sold on our program. And I think it's the environment. It's not so much Greg and myself, but it's the environment. I think that has been built over the gym over the years with a Holly Holm and Jon Jones and people that actually help others in the gym. That's kind of the unwritten rule. I think he sees that. He sees that there will people that will be helping him and be sparring partners for him and try to emulate what his opponents do. At the same time, I'm going to expect that out of Aaron. If he wants to stick around, I don't care who the person is or how good they are. They have to be willing to help others in the gym. That's the only way that we all can get better.
When I talked with Michael Yubimov, he said that JacksonWink MMA is a very friendly place. When you are coming in to the gym, there are always people that are interested in you, that they will come to you, shake your hand, say hello, and be a host of you. Is it important to have this kind of atmosphere in a club?
Oh, I think so. I think that's where it might be different than some gyms. I think it's just the courtesies that are important because people can posture and you can act tough and you can disregard people, but at the end of the day, everybody will find out how good you are because you're gonna get out on the mat, and you can't act different than you can actually perform. So people just leave their egos in check. They leave their egos outside the door, is what I always tell them. And we will do the same and just be nice and courteous to each other and see if we can help.
Mhm. Okay, and come back to the questions from our friends. Who from all your fighters made a biggest step forward with you as a coach, with you and Greg as a coach?
Oh my goodness, it's hard to pick anyone. I'm
I've
not
got
sure.
more. I've got more questions like that.
I'm not. I'm not sure we take credit for everything and stuff, but we've had some people that have turned around quite a bit. I do believe that Jon Jones, when he came, all of a sudden he came from a little unpredictable, but more of a wrestling base. He's turned into now this striker that people just don't know how to get in on, and so it puts him in a bad spot, which makes his takedowns that much easier. I think John has improved quite a bit. I think Holly Holm has improved quite a bit.
Mhm.
I think there's I don't know, there's just quite a few of them that Rashad Evans came from a brawler. He went to the top real quick with us on our program back in the early day until he lost his title. But there's been quite a few guys that we've been proud of spending some time with in the past.
Mhm. And in your opinion, what fighter needs to have to achieve success?
Oh shoot, the
Because
drive,
because people
the person.
say talent or maybe a hard work or something else.
They have to have all those elements. They have to have some physical talent. They definitely have to be smart. They have to have the mental ability to understand strategy, those type of things. They have to have the desire to work hard. They have to have a good work ethic, and they have to have all of it along with. They don't come into our gym unless they're already fighters. We already know that they're physically strong. We know that they're um, able to do things and fight, and they have the guts to get out there and do it. But the guys that go to the top are the guys that have all of it. They're willing to be students. They're willing to learn and better themselves. I think those are the guys that make it to the top. Is you have to have all of it. You have to be physically strong, mentally strong, open to new ideas. And most of our successful fighters are very, very. They have high intellect. Their IQs are very high, and it has helped them out quite a bit.
Mhm. And a couple of things about your fighters. First of all, of course, Jon Jones, light heavyweight champion, UFC. Um, Jon Jones and his history, all those issues, problems during all those years. Could you tell us, are you talking with him about all his problems? Do you try to
Oh,
manage with it, or maybe you just don't talk about it and just train?
Oh no, I talk about it to him all the time. You know what? Jon Jones, I've always said once I saw where he was going to go, and I believe to this day, I really don't think anybody can beat Jon Jones. He's that talented because he studies the game, he learns the game, he's passionate, over and above just being a great athlete. Like I said, he has all those attributes. Nobody beats Jon Jones but himself. And how he beats himself is by doing something um, uh, out of control. A lot of sports stars do that. They get so many people around them that start telling them how great they are. They start believing it. They start making stupid decisions. John's made some stupid decisions before, and we've talked about it. But people see that they see what's published, and he has messed up. But people miss out on all the good things that Jon does. I mean, people have no idea how many times he's taken care of others. Just it's incredible that what he does behind the scenes. He's got a gigantic heart, and he does quite well. As far as the drug stuff, a lot of that stuff has to do with reference ranges, like when I was talking to USADA and stuff. Jon never should have trouble with USADA for any kind of performance enhancing type of situation. It's just those things are so small in your system they couldn't help anybody. And I don't know how they get there, but I think you're going to start seeing more and more of that as there's things in our environment that will show up because technology is so in depth now.
When you look at Jon Jones, can you say that he's growing? Like an adult man, he's growing?
Absolutely. He's absolutely he definitely is growing. He's learning. He had the world in front of him at 23 and he made mistakes. If I was 23 and had what he had, I'm absolutely sure I would have made a lot of mistakes as well. Thank God he got through it, and we're going forward. And I think that Jon Jones will continue his legacy and get better and continue to be the best of all time.
Talking about Jon Jones, I have to ask about that. Do you see him in a heavyweight?
Oh yeah, down the road I definitely do because Jon wants to challenge himself. Now he has no problem making light heavyweight, so he would be a small heavyweight, but he's got the skill set. It would take a little bit of time to put the proper weight on, and as he gets older, I think that will happen, and it's more Jon's want and desire to challenge himself against anybody that I think will put him in the heavyweight division down the road.
A current top 5 in heavyweight, is it in the reach of Jon Jones, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, right now I think he can go to heavyweight and beat the champ.
Wow, okay. Is there a chance that we are going to see Jon Jones in heavyweight maybe this year or next?
I have a feeling, and I don't know, but I have a feeling he's just going to keep cleaning up the light heavyweight division until the right fight comes up and the right amount of money is put in front of him. Because it's always a risk versus reward. If he's moving up to heavyweight, he's Daniel Cormier at the heavyweight swings for the fences. I think Jon beats him. Of course I do, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get the weight up and do it correctly.
Mhm. Oh, and another fighter from JacksonWink, Carlos Condit. I'm personally am a big fan of Carlos, but of course for me it's hard to see him not winning for the 5th time maybe in a row. What's next for Carlos Condit? Do you still see him in big MMA in UFC?
I believe Carlos Condit can beat anybody. He had a war with Robbie Lawler. That war took a lot out of him. I actually thought he won that when he was fighting for the title. But um, so he had a little bit of downtime from that. We had to kind of talk himself back into not being fearful of getting hit as much, not being fearful of a lot of things. And all fighters do that. So it's been a long process. There's a lot of things behind the scenes in his personal life that has taken a lot out of him. But I believe if he gets these things straightened out, Carlos Condit can make a comeback. He's one of the nicest guys in the gym, definitely a hard worker, and very, very creative. He's got to take care of some things, get back on his wrestling defense, and get back in there and do things right.
Mhm. You had also in JacksonWink MMA couple of fighters from Poland. There were also people like Marcin Tybura or Kevin Szaflarski. And our fans would like to know, what do you think about Polish MMA, watching, of course, those Polish fighters that was training in your club?
Gosh, very talented. I was I'm quite impressed with people coming out of right now. And like for instance, I can talk about Marcin quite a bit. When he came to our gym, he had some great wrestling base, but he learned even more. He just listened. He was a great student, cordial. I thought his striking went to a whole new level. I believe he is such a good kicker. People haven't seen what he can do standing up. I would love to have him come back. It's just so far, man. But I believe that kid can go on and win the heavyweight title. I really do.
Mm.
He's quite talented.
Mm. And how is Holly Holm training camp for her fight going on? How does she manage it?
Well, we're kind of easing into it because we're so far out. We don't want to burn out, of course. But every day she'll be working out with me here about an hour. Every day we're working on things that we need to do for this fight, things that she needs to do herself, get rid of certain patterns and mistakes she's had in the past, and develop the proper game plan to have her shock the world a second time.
Mhm. Uh, and the last question from our fans: which club is now, in your opinion, better at this moment? Of course, ATT or AKA?
Oh gosh, that's one. You know what? AKA is, of course, they have the big there with Habib and Cormier. Just a great coach. Javier Mendez is the guys that got some great coach, and that they're a real tight team. They seem to help each other out, which I can see from the outside is fantastic. ATT, same thing. I mean, they have with everybody, and that's the same thing. You get in a mix of so many other talented people. You can't help but get better when you're always challenging yourself and watching others that are at such a high level. Um, Hard pick is which ones, and I don't want to do that and tell you which ones I think is better. I think
Of
they're
course.
kind of on equal ground.
Mhm. Okay, and last one from me. How do you work with Greg Jackson? You both have very strong characters, and you both know what to do. You are great coaches. How do you cooperate with each other?
Well, a yin yang thing, Greg's kind of like my little brother, and coming into his gym was fighting years ago. Amazed at how smart he was just as a kid and locking me up on the ground and different. And we've learned from each other, and I think it's a lack of ego that makes it work so well. Because if we're cornering, when it's things that Greg's expert as, I won't say a thing. I would never tell the fighter. I tell him ideas, and he can like him or not like him, and I trust him to make the right decision, and vice versa. I think he's the good cop, bad cop type attitude around the gym. Tells how great they're doing those type of things. Where I just kind of hammer them with, if you do that again, you're gonna get knocked out. Cut that out. But I'm a little older, age-wise, so I'm able to do that quite a bit. But I think it works out really well. I think I'm just really lucky to have such a talented, smart guy to partner with.
Mhm. Okay, at 8th of June at ACA 96, one of your fighters is going to have his bout. It's Diego Brandao, of course. And I would like to know if you are going to come here to Poland and be in his corner, or maybe this will be somebody else.
No, I think somebody else. Diego had been at our gym for years, and we loved it. He's such a big, talented guy. But I believe he went back to Brazil for a while,
Mhm.
and so get some things straightened out, and he's having a hard time with contracts and stuff. But we will not be in his corner, but we definitely do wish him the best.
Okay. Okay, Coach, really big thanks for this interview, for this talk. We would love to see you in Poland, so maybe if there will be a chance, another UFC event maybe. So I hope that you are going to come to Poland and see our MMA, our branch here in this place. Thank you very much, and best regards for all people in JacksonWink MMA.
Okay, well, thank you, and yeah, I do. I would love to hang and actually travel a little bit in Poland. It's a beautiful place, and I've been there before. So thanks for the interview.
Thank you very much.